Hello everyone, I'm Mr. Game Guy along with another edition of the Xcast. I am here along with my wonderful, well, I almost said co-host, but who am I kidding? This is an equal establishment.
What up, guys? This is MrESPNozaX.
Yo, it's a game with class here.
We don't do this a lot. Pardon us, every time we do this we always have to de-rust. But well. But anyway, today we're going to be doing a bit of a discussion on Godzilla vs. Kong. Just gonna go for the record, say it right now, go see it. It's fun. It's a movie. It's a fun popcorn flick. Just go out, go see it. We're gonna give a rundown on this flick. So, who wants to go first on their kind of general thoughts, and then we'll just go into more detail as things go on. So, do you want me to start?
Yeah, go ahead.
Alright. So, basic rundown. This movie. If you were kind of put off by the reviews about the human characters not being too intriguing, give it a rundown. It's a monster movie. It's a monster movie. Okay, this movie fully intends on being a over-the-top, goofy, fun, cheesy monster flick. And it knows it's that. It knew exactly what it wanted to be, so do not worry about the movie's human characters or any way holding down. Okay, so I guess starting off at kind of like a slow point, I guess we'll just get the boring stuff out of the way, at least up from my side. The human characters. They're fine. Yes, they're not that intriguing, but they're fine. For the most part, they do what they need to do. I guess I'll start off with the, oh god, there's two different storylines going on, so I guess I'll start off with story A with the conspiracy theorist, who, fun fact, is played by the same guy who did, Miles' father in Spider-Man Enter the Spider-Verse.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
I will say it right now, I know his role is overall kind of a cliche in the long scheme of things, but I found him enjoyable. I definitely got some decent laughs out of it. I could see he definitely understood his role as this over the top, like overtly paranoid, like, you know, InfoWars, Alex Jones kind of like archetype caricature, and I think he rolled with it. What'd you guys think about him?
Liked him. I liked the character of Bernie. It's like definitely there's some moments I was like I feel like in that human group dynamic, I feel like he was the one I was more interested in. I didn't really have much strong feelings of the other two who joined him on it. But no, I generally I liked like his aspect of the human story in terms of that trio.
In terms of the human characters, I think, yeah, Bernie was definitely the best one out of all of them, because honestly, I could care less about the other characters. They're just really forgettable and everything. Like, yeah, you always have to have your comic relief, but man, he definitely did really good. I cared more about him than the other characters that we were the main focus and stuff.
Yeah, I honestly kind of felt the same way, because seeing I don't remember the actors' names, though, so I'll just write them down.
Brian Tyree Henry for Bernie.
For Bernie? Okay. I don't remember the other two actors who played the other kids, but I do remember the in-universe name, so I'll just go off of that. But anyway,
or you can just say 11 from Stranger Things and Kid from Deadpool 2.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
what was his name in Deadpool 2? I forget. It was something fired something.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was the Burning Kid. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's who he freaking like who he reminded me of. Yeah, that's who it was. Anyway, I guess the Stranger Things girl. You guys have seen the other Godzilla, like the other Godzilla MonsterVerse movies, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
I was kind of interested because she was returning from King of the Monsters. I was kind of surprised that they brought her back for this flick. And apparently from the explanation, though, is that I should probably elaborate on this. The movie is only about 2 hours long, but about roughly 25 minutes of like the human story all got cut out, and it kind of explains like why a lot of the human story feels not super developed. It explains that in like the novelization for this movie that apparently she was suffering PTSD from the King Ghidorah incident, which, to be fair, anybody in her place probably would have been suffering PTSD, because my god. And the explanation is that she's like really like into like figuring out like the whole figuring out the whole ins and outs with how the monsters, the Titans, how they work, and that's why she kind of becomes intrigued with Bernie's story and his podcast. Um, Overall, I was
It actually does make a lot of sense.
yeah.
Mhm.
Overall, I wasn't super intrigued with her character. I mean, in King of the Monsters, she was fine for what it was, but this movie, I know she kind of came off as very I don't know how to describe it, as a very kind of it's my way or the highway kind of caricature.
Yeah.
Like she was determined to like figure out why Godzilla was doing all what he did.
It almost seemed out of character just coming off of King of Monsters. Especially I just recently seen it like really soon, so it was still fresh in my head.
Mm-hmm.
It's like seeing her character in that movie, then coming into this one. And because that thing you mentioned about the novelization, was like finding out that now explains things, at least puts context to it. Now it makes more sense, but just watching it in the movie itself, it kind of feels like, whoa, she's into the conspiracy theory, and almost seems like a whole different character entirely.
Yeah, and from what the novelization says, though, because in the movie it portrays her as like being like really into Bernie's podcast or whatever, but as from what I've heard from the novelization, she doesn't even like she's not even interested at all. She only like listens to him though because she thinks he's onto something. Which, as the movie spoiler alert, I'm sure you could have figured this out. Spoiler alert, yeah, like he is onto something. But like the novelization though, like overall, otherwise though, like it doesn't really go too much further past that because going back to Bernie's character, there's a few jokes in the novelization that is not brought up in the movie, mainly because Bernie really goes out there with his theories. Like he says that elves from the North Pole are real. And there's one point when he's like escaping Apex, the main evil corporation. He describes the people of Apex as lizard people. Wait, like, is he serious or was that like, was that just a joke? Like, hold the phone. But
Well, when he said he showers in bleach, it's like, nah, he probably thinks they're lizard people. I'm like, how's this dude alive? You know, like, it's like, how you shower with bleach now? How you gonna shower Ichigo?
but otherwise, there's not much else I have to say about Emma's character or the Stranger Things girl. The Josh kid, the Deadpool 2 kid, he was fine, I guess. They didn't really give him much to do. I will say I do kind of feel bad for him at the end, though, when he says, hey, just for the record, this was her whole idea, and the dad just told him to shut up, and I was thinking, like, he's not wrong. He was kind of dragged into this, and plus...
Yeah, he got shut up megged.
He pretty much what he did, he deserved way more. But man, he just got shut up, Meg.
Yeah.
It's like he should really get more in trouble. It's like he's like, this is my car. We're just stealing it. It has him go on this quest and all this. Is like let him be the hero at the end. The end he gets disgraced, and that's the last we see of him.
It's like, jeez, man. But overall, like he was fine, I guess. I guess there wasn't too much to say. Okay, one last thing about them. Special shout out to Kyle Chandler, who played like the dad. He's not in the movie very often, but at the time of this release, this is the second time he's been in both a Godzilla and a King Kong movie. Because he was in King of the Monsters, he was in this movie, which, like, figures that out. And he was actually in the Peter Jackson's King Kong movie. So this is technically his second time being in both.
Forgot about that.
That is true. Holy shit.
So
Yo.
So yeah, that's kind of like a notable thing. Not many American actors can say they were in multiple King Kong and Godzilla movies.
Damn. True. Holy shit.
But anyway, that's all I have to really add on that group. You guys got anything else to say about them?
Oh, let me get my notes. While I was watching the movie, I was very vigorous. I took a lot of notes just so I could remember certain aspects when we got onto it. And a lot of it I'll have to save till we get to the spoiler discussion.
Okay.
But like, I think my biggest thing with that story, because I know like that story is really just to get them all to Hong Kong and that. But my question is like, this might be a spoiler. So if it is, you can cut this out.
Mm-hmm.
Is that so when they go back to the Apex lab, it's unguarded and they get in there. I was kind of like, man, and there's still people inside working on stuff down there. I was like, you think they like have some guards up top still, just because it got destroyed, because they got in really easily.
Yeah, well, I think that was showed in the trailer, so like that's fine. But yeah, like some people even mentioned though is that they said they noticed is like, wait, if Apex is like, you know, fully like completely behind like trying to like keep things out or whatever, and they know like this Bernie guy is like documenting their things, don't you think they would try to, you know, take his podcast down or try to shut him up? But
I thought about that too. Is just like because he worked for them. I thought at first with the podcast like, oh, he probably just on his own, just talking at it from the outside perspective. But when he starts walking in like he works there, I'm just like, wow, this huge multi-billion-dollar corporation is not having their eyes on him.
Well, I guess to be fair, he just constantly got lucky and slipped for the radar. Because to be fair, it is a multi-dollar billion corporation, so they probably don't keep track of every little person. So,
And these are all nitpicks. These are all like the CinemaSins one he's gonna put in his stupid video. How come they didn't fire him for that? When it's like you can actually bring up like real complaints. He's gonna be like, how come there were no guards outside?
Yeah, something that makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah. But not getting back to like that side, definitely you got a lot of the points. Like Bernie definitely for me was the strongest one of that group and was one of the ones I was like, you know what? I like him. I like the actor. I've seen him in a lot of stuff. He's been great in other stuff he's been in. But yeah, I just felt like those other two kind of didn't do anything for me, really. Like they were kind of there for like, okay, when I saw them, okay, it's the comedy part. Like Bernie's gonna have the jokes about tap water kid. Emma's gonna be the conspiracy theory talking about this and that. I was just like, okay, get on with the other stuff in the movie.
Yeah, like every Dale Gribble joke you can think of.
Yeah.
All right,
I was just like, I got enough. Just move on.
Yeah. Like for the most part, like, and again though, like just to clarify this, like these aren't like three-dimensional or like Shakespearean type characters.
Oh yeah, I'm not looking at it like looking for the depth. I'm just saying, just like for the human characters. I was like, this storyline, at least for them, like it wasn't like the strongest one.
Yeah, I know, and like again though, like what I said before, like the movie knows exactly what it wants to be, and that's the credit I'll give to this movie. The characters are fine enough. They're not like, yeah, they're not great, but they're not like so bad or so like distractingly poor that it kind of like takes you away from the movie. They work well enough in the context of the film.
Yeah, like compared to like the characters in the 2014 Godzilla movie or in King of Monsters, like there's like maybe one human character I actually cared for in King of Monsters. This at least they were like a good bit. Like even if I wasn't like they weren't my favorite part, I at least was like, okay, like all right, I'm fine with them.
Yeah. Okay, so do you have anything to add, Ernesto?
Yeah, again, Bernie was definitely the better character. The 11 girl from Stranger Things, like I thought she was gonna have like a much more bigger role, more character development, but again, I didn't really care much for her, just like in Kingdom Monsters and stuff, and kid from Deadpool. I didn't really care for much either and stuff, but I mean, he definitely did, for what he did at the end, he definitely deserved, you know, a lot of praise rather than getting shit up made.
Oh yeah, yeah. We'll get to that part, but
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, other than that, like I was just, again, like it's a monster movie. I honestly don't really care about the human characters. I mean, I think a monster movie where I actually did care for the human characters was Kong Skull Island, because those characters were really good developed and everything like that and stuff. And I think it was the first ever movie that I just like was hated Samuel L. Jackson.
Well, hate him for the reasons you're supposed to hate him, at least.
But with the Godzilla movies, the recent Godzilla movies, especially Godzilla vs. Kong, I didn't really care for the humans at all. Besides,
Yeah.
I thought Bernie, he definitely was like the better one out of all of them.
Yeah, agreed. Okay, so I think we can move on to the second set of characters. Just for clarification, there's 3 set, and we just got done with the first one. Okay, so for set number 2, we have the, oh, frick, I forgot what their group was called. I'll just call them, like, the Monarch group.
Yeah.
The Kong study guy people.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh no. You got to get her name in that article. I had to write it down. The Kong Whisperer, as she was called.
Yeah.
Oh. I was like, ugh.
Okay, I forgot what I forgot what the little kid's name was. Hold on. Do you remember what it was?
Gia.
Gia, there we go.
Gia.
Okay, let's get her out of the way. Okay, Gia. I'm gonna firmly state she was the best human character of this film, and she did not even mutter a single word. Well, vocally,
hands down.
Anyway.
There's a lot of things I gotta say, but it's in spoilers, so I'll save it. But yeah, for like the human group, she was the best one.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess like just giving away as much as I can without spoiling it, because the trailers already kind of gave it away. Yeah, she's essentially the connection to Kong. And for what's displayed so far, though, I think they did a really good job of establishing like this sort of almost kind of parental like relationship she had with Kong in a weird way. Maybe not parental though, but like it gave me like sort of vibes with that. Not much else I could say without spoilers. As in terms for like all the other characters were mentioned, there's I forgot what her name was, the doctor lady. She was fine. She pushed the film through. Don't really have anything to add there. There was kind of like the military guy who was like kind of like more about the paperwork or whatever. I don't remember what his name was. He was fine. I'm kind of surprised like the few jokes they add with him though surprisingly worked with me, because not really a spoiler, just mentioned, but I love the scene where like he's actually like visibly afraid to go near Kong when they have him chained up, and she like in sign language calls him a coward, and they says like, what'd she say? Oh, it's a phrase for a lot of bravery. It's just like that.
Then when they bring it up later on.
Yeah, that part. And like when he does like the same phrase too, thinking he's saying like the brave phrase, and she's like, what? And they just look at her like, oh, okay, like kind of like an MCU style joke like that. That was pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
But aside from that, like, he was fine. There's not much else I can really say about him without going into spoilers. I guess for, like, in terms of the villains, because... Oh, shoot, there is a few things I could say. The one made the corporate leader of Apex, whatever... As far as I'm aware, I haven't gotten far into the novelization, but apparently from what I've heard, they did a little bit more with him there, but... In context of the movie, he's basically just there to be a bad guy. He's every corporate overlord, I have money, I can do whatever I want kind of spiel.
Now, can I post my first image right now? And because it's about this guy in particular. I couldn't take this guy seriously the whole movie. Okay, I want to post first an image of him.
Wait,
all right, there he is.
Is it the...
Now tell me...
Is it the Doctor Who image? Oh my god.
No, tell me this guy doesn't look like Al Pacino from Jack and Jill, the Dunkachino.
Oh my god, he does!
I was like,
oh my god.
What's Al doing here? What's Dunk doing here?
Oh my god, it is! That's not the same actor, is it?
It's not.
Oh, thank God.
No.
It's not Al Pacino. Al Pacino is 90 years old.
Oh.
This was a Damien Bicar as Walter Simmons.
Oh, jeez. But anyway, he's just there for the sake of having a bad guy. There's one more human character, but that's getting into spoilers, so I'll leave him for later. And and his daughter too. Yeah, she was basically just again there for being a villain.
Yeah,
you can see it coming a mile away. Mm-hmm. So, oh well. What do you guys have to add to the Kong group? You can go ahead,
Oh,
John.
There's not really much to add. Like, it's like the girl Agia was definitely my favorite of that group. Like, she did a lot of raw stuff in the movie. I'll get into more in the spoiler discussion. But yeah, like with the guy scientist, Nathan Lind, like I guess like the main guy,
Mm-hmm.
like he was okay. The Kong Whisperer, like like I don't know. There wasn't a lot of like other characters that were memorable for the Kong side. There's only one character I cared about in the Kong side, and his first name rhymes with King.
Oh, I'll get there. We'll get there. Sorry.
Yeah, but yeah, there's not really much I can say. Like with that group, like it was kind of this plain for me.
How about you, Ernesto?
Yeah, I would have to agree. Yeah, Gio was definitely the better character out of all of them, and I just didn't really care for like all the other characters. They were just there. They were generic. They're just right there.
Yeah.
You know, forgettable and everything. And again, I can't really say much about spoiling it, but that's pretty much my take on the Kong side of the character.
Yeah, they pushed they pushed the story forward, and you know what? That's kind of it. No more, no less.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
actually, there's one other character I do want to mention in the humans, and it feels like such a wasted potential.
Oh, is it what I think it is?
Was it was getting back to Emma's father when he's in Hong Kong,
Oh.
and Lance Reddick is in the movie. He had a top billing. He's in like the main like credit sequence. I was like, oh, Lance Reddick's in this movie? Dope. He's only in one scene in this movie.
Oh.
I was like, how you gonna get Lance Reddick and only have him in one scene? Like, he's so good in other stuff. Like, how you gonna just not use him?
New question. What's he played in?
What hasn't he been in? He's been in John Wick. He's been in so many movies.
White House Down.
Yeah.
And
He was in The Wire, the great show. He's been in a lot of Actually, it's pretty funny. I looked up on IMDb. He was actually in the 1998 Godzilla movie.
Wait.
He was Soldier on Bridge.
Wait, they got him too, and they didn't get like any of the other like decent characters from that film. Oh my god.
Yeah, no, they got Soldier on Bridge, uncredited.
But they didn't get like freaking Hank Azaria or like Matthew Broderick or anyone like that.
Oh, thank God they didn't get.
I swear to Christ, if this lets me talk without glitching. Oh my God! But anyway, he was actually the captain that helped Isaac in season 3 of Castlevania.
Oh
yeah, I forgot.
Dang.
It's like, do you really want to see That's a Lot of Fish in this Godzilla movie?
I kid you not. If I had the money and I had the time, I'd do it. Just as a meme.
Digitally added in there ADR during a certain scene. That's a lot of fish.
Okay.
Put it far in the background.
Alright, so moving on from that, we move on to our third set of characters. The ones we've all been waiting for, and I kid you not, probably the best characters in the film. We're going to the monsters. Let's start off with our main character, Kong. He was the best character of this film. This is his
Hands
movie.
down.
Like, what? If there's one thing like this to kind of be made clear about this movie is that this is a Kong movie. Like 70% of it is a Kong movie. The other 30% is Godzilla.
Yeah.
And I loved it for that. And I love Godzilla. Don't get me wrong, I love Godzilla, but I was like, I'm so happy this movie is like on Kong because he's such a good character.
Yeah. I would say the balance was done very well, and again, it makes sense. Godzilla had 2 previous films before this, and Kong only had 1 movie. It made sense to focus on him. But in terms of like how Kong is portrayed in this film, did you want to say something, Ernesto?
No, I just like saying, yeah, I agree.
Okay. In terms of Kong's portrayal, some people like had a few complaints with his portrayal in Kong Skull Island, considering that he didn't really have the same characterization or sort of portrayal as he did in other King Kong movies. But in this one, they really got it down, and I think the explanation was that In Skull Island, it was a younger Kong. Here, it's a matured one. This one has actually been like living like decades beyond it. Like if you look close, you can even see some gray and like around his face. Like this is an old Kong now.
But wait, who are the people saying like, oh, his portrayal in Kong Skull Island was bad? Like what?
No, they didn't say his portrayal was
Yeah,
bad.
for
They just
real.
said he didn't have the same personality as like the other Kongs.
I guess, but it's like it's a different portrayal. Like, I'm not really surprised with that.
Yeah, and I think it like after seeing this film, it made sense because that was a younger Kong. This one is an older Kong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But in terms of how Kong is portrayed, honest to God, he is by, and it's not, and again, it's not just because he's one of the title characters. They honestly did a great job with how they did him. He manages to keep that sympathetic edge of him. But another thing they did, and I'm surprised they went through with this, he actually speaks.
Yes.
And it's done in an honest to God kind of like, in a kind of shocking, but in a way that makes a lot of sense. He says home in sign language. That part, like, honestly, I was just as surprised as the characters in the flick. Like, oh my god. Like, they actually got a kaiju in these films to talk. And it was not stupid goofy like it was in some of the previous Godzilla films.
Oh, don't even mention like when they started dubbing them. They did them so dirty in those old movies.
But okay, like anyway, like getting past the shock factor, yeah, Kong is by far the most intriguing character in this flick. They did a great job with his portrayal. You really like, you definitely get like that kind of similar like sympathetic vibe with them though, because the essential plot is they're just essentially just dragging him out of Skull Island. He's outlived his containment area, and they're essentially like, well, we need to have him discover the Hollow Earth. So they literally just drag him along on the situation. He clearly doesn't like it. He's clearly confused. He's clearly just has no idea what's going on. And yet for like the whole thing, they're just doing everything they can to try to keep him comfortable. When they eventually got to Antarctica, and they eventually like, oh wait, was that in the trailer? I think it was in the trailer. Oh fuck. Oh well. Cut that out. Yeah. When they eventually get to later parts of the film and they eventually like start like discussing like, hey, like there's something in it for you, Kong. Like you could definitely like, it definitely gets to that point though where you're thinking, okay, I feel bad for this guy. Like he's like Kong has had like a very hard life, and it continues like throughout this flick.
Yeah, for most of them, I was like, man, you're doing Kong dirty because like he's on like the ship. And it's like raining. It's like, give him a blanket, give him something.
Yeah.
And then when he gets to like a place later in a movie, I'm like, give him a jacket. I'm like, you're doing him dirty.
But overall, I was pretty happy with Kong's portrayal. What do you think, Ernesto?
Oh yeah, I was very happy with Kong portrayal. Like you said before, you know, it's his movie because you know he only had one movie, and Godzilla already had two movies, you know, to this. And stuff. So I was very happy, you know, they gave, you know, Kong some, you know, really good screen time and stuff. Very surprising because, like, you know, I thought coming into this movie, I thought, like, definitely it was going to be equal screen time for both characters. But, you know, I actually was happy to see more Kong than Godzilla, even though I was Team Godzilla throughout the movie.
Oh damn, I forgot about that. I'll just get this out of the way. I did not care who won. I just did not care. What team were you guys?
Oh, I'm Team Kong all the way. You know, my name's GWC today. Hey, Gorillas with Class. I was Team Kong before the first trailer. And people were doubting me like, no, that's stupid. You know, after I saw the movie, you know what? I'm happy I stood by my original choice.
Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh, we'll get to that. You were Team Godzilla, Ernesto?
Yeah.
Heck yeah. I'm more of a Godzilla.
Yeah, I love Godzilla. That's literally like the first monster movie I've ever experienced. I hated the 1999 version.
Who didn't?
Because I was like very young, and I was very hyped up for it. You know, I got all the toys and everything, and when I actually saw the movie, I was just like, "What the heck is this?" So it's like, you know, I'm just gonna stick to watching the older Godzillas that, you know, I got for like VHS and everything like that. I didn't really I didn't really like care for King Kong and stuff like that. I remember I didn't really watch like the original King Kong. I think like I've seen the Peter Jackson one and stuff, and oh my god, that movie was super long. But it was still a good movie though. It was super long and stuff. But I don't know. I just really didn't really care for King Kong that much until I saw Skull Island and everything that made me really like King Kong and stuff like that. But of course at the ending that ending credit scene in Kong Skull Island, that was when I was like, oh snap, they're finally doing it. So I was like, Kong who? I was like, it's all about Godzilla.
And I will say, because I just recently watched Kong Skull Island, like that and Godzilla King of Monsters last week, so I saw them fresh. And I will say, seeing that in credit post scene, even though like it's already like the trailer's already been out, I got so hyped even just watching the post scene. I'm like, woo! Just because of how Kong was in that movie. I was like, oh, I can't wait to see Godzilla versus King Kong.
Yep.
I probably would have been going crazy if I saw that in theaters. I'm just like, oh, I'm there.
Okay, so I think we got like our Kong thoughts out of the way. Oh god, you know what? I honestly have nothing to add with Godzilla because everything I want to say with him is spoiler related. But I'll just say right now, non-spoiler. He was good. I really love how they portrayed Godzilla in this film. What do you guys have to say?
Same. I really liked Godzilla as well.
Same as well, yeah.
There's a lot of things I get kind of the same boat. The spoiler stuff.
I can't really say anything about like spoiling the movie, so yeah, I'll save that for the spoiler discussion.
Okay, gotcha. So now that we got our sets of characters out of the way, here we're going to be. Is there anything else you guys want to add in terms of non-spoiler? Because if not, I'm ready to go full spoilers.
All right, I have my final things. This is more on the technical side of the movie. The sound design is excellent. The sound design is so good in this movie. Now, I didn't. You guys saw it in theaters. Yeah, I saw it at home in my sound system, just with the subwoofer and like the sound bar and all that. But man, they did a really good job. Like when like you get Gia's perspective and you just hear that low end bass, or just even when the two monsters are there, it sounds so good.
Yeah, they really nailed down the sound design. Like whenever a hit lands, like you feel it.
Yeah, like I was on my couch, I'm like, man, I got to see this movie again in theaters. Like I'm for real doing that now. Like before I was like, I'll see it at home for right now, but now for sure I need to see this in the theater, because if it was sounding like this at home, I can't wait to see it in a theater with like their speakers.
Hell yeah, yeah. If you could see this movie in IMAX, I would honestly say it's worth it.
And the cinematography was really good too. I wasn't the biggest fan of Godzilla King of Monsters look too, and just the shots. I didn't think they were that great. Like I felt like 2014 Godzilla. That movie, like even though I'm not the biggest fan of it, I love the cinematography of it. It's really good. They have a lot of really good shots in there.
Oh yeah.
A lot of good wides and just like the scope of it. Like they make Godzilla intimidating in that movie at first.
Oh yeah, there really is a huge sense of scale and build up to that movie. It's kind of a shame that they spend so much time doing so and don't pay off.
Not getting to him. Yeah. If they had paid off, I would have been like, this movie's great. But they didn't, so it kind of sucked in that sense. But no, in this movie, cinematography was really good. There were some really nice shots, and it was really nice.
Yeah. But oh man, how about? Are you done, John?
Yeah, I'm finished on mine.
All right. How about you, Ernesto? Final thoughts?
I don't have any. I'm just waiting to get to spoilers.
Okay, so now we get into spoilers, and I'm not sure if you guys are ready to go into full discussion about this, but okay, now we're into spoilers. So if you haven't seen the movie, go watch it. It's fun. It's amazing. So let's get the one thing straight, and I'm sure that you have a few things to say about this, John. There is actually a winner.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Now, depending on how you look at things, it might seem a little different. in there. Now I want to know, who did you think won?
I'm gonna like. Oh, who did I think was gonna win, or who do I think I win in general?
In general.
Okay, in terms of who won the battle, Godzilla. Who won the whole scenario? Kong. Like, won the war, I guess. Won the war, Kong. How about you, Ernesto?
Like the battles, Godzilla. Like, yeah, Kong definitely like won the whole thing and stuff. Because when you could kind of see like when they were talking to each other, you kind of could sense like what Godzilla was saying like, you won this battle and stuff like that, and he just like went back to the water and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I take it from that, but in the sense on who won it all, I think both of them.
Yeah.
They both got some shots in.
Yeah, I think both of them, because there is another villain, the main villain.
Oh, where to even begin on this? I have so much to say.
Okay. Let's get like the rest of the spoilers like out of the way first. I should have explained this format, damn it, better. Okay, so
you're gonna be hearing that a lot with all of us. Oh, I gotta say this.
Okay, so I'll just run it by. There actually is a winner. It's Godzilla. He wins the battles, but Kong later on is the overall winner of the war. Get it right now. Just get that out of the way. How they portrayed the battles in this movie was freaking fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
The best parts of the movie.
Yeah, they
Kong. I wrote in my notes like 100 times watching it. Like, Kong is a beast in this movie. He's so raw. Like that's the reason why I'm like, man, Kong won overall, because Godzilla, he fought the other villain. He fought like Kong, but Kong was going against everybody in this movie, because once he got down to Hollow Earth, he's tearing people up.
Mm-hmm.
He's fighting people just at his own territory. It's like he's just destroying, and some of the stuff he was doing to Godzilla in the fight, I'm like,
oh my god.
Especially the way he finished off one of the creatures in Hollow Earth.
Oh,
I was like, this is the best portrayal of Kong by far. I was like just watching Kong Skull. I was getting so hyped watching that movie. I'm like, yo, I love this Kong. This whole movie, the human characters have been good, but Kong's just been killing people for like 80 minutes straight.
Mm-hmm.
Every scene was him tearing somebody up. And that's what he was doing in this movie. He was just going off.
Yes.
So I think in that aspect he won, but yeah, definitely in that first fight, Godzilla whooped him.
Yeah. Because like throughout the whole movie, like Godzilla just whooped Kong's ass throughout.
Yeah, like, okay, in the Battle of the Ocean...
Like, I think...
Go ahead.
Yeah, the Battle of the Ocean, yeah, like, they got their few shots in, but definitely Godzilla was, like, the one leading throughout the whole fight and everything, trying to drown King Kong and everything, trying to destroy the ships and stuff. And, like, it's just, I was like, okay, maybe when they fight next, Kong's definitely going to take it, but when they get to Hong Kong, I was all like, no, it was like the complete opposite. Godzilla was just whooping Kong's ass. Like, I was like, definitely, I think the director of this film, or the writers, definitely were favoring Godzilla than King Kong.
Yeah.
Yeah, because especially when he got to Hong Kong, he had so much advantage, because, like, in that first fight, it's in sea, Godzilla's home turf. He can go underwater, he can do all this. Kong has nothing. But when he got to Hong Kong, it's like, man, this is Kong's territory. So to see him get whooped, I'm like, what happened?
Yeah, like, at first you're thinking, like, okay, like, sure, we're on even ground. Heck, Kong's even armed for this one. Which, by the way, in the Hollow Earth, okay, in the freaking Hollow Earth, Kong gets an axe. I'll just say right now, Kong with the axe, I didn't think I would, like, be that hyped for it, but, like, after seeing the origins of it, the fact that the axe is made out of, like, a Godzilla spine, like, attached to a bone, and seeing how he utilizes it in the film, like, alright, Kong with axe is officially amazing. Yeah, there you go.
But also, this is also what I thought, too. When I saw it light up, I'm like, we got Kratos here. I was calling him Kong Toast after that. I'm like,
Kong Toast.
And I didn't know that thing about like that it was from one of Godzilla's spikes. Like that's cool.
And it makes like narrative sense too, like why it's able to absorb like the radiation breath.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But oh man. So yeah, like overall, like the actual battles themselves, like we said, amazing cinematography. My inner Godzilla nerd was definitely nerding out in multiple moments because there were so many small little minor references to the previous films. I got a little giddy.
Yep.
The freaking he shoves like when he shoves the axe in Godzilla's throat just like he did with the tree. Like I legit laughed in the theater when I saw that.
Yeah, I was.
I was all like, I knew they're gonna bring that. I was all like, man, if they bring up that scene in 1962 into this movie, like, man, I would freaking be happy. And they did, but it was the act. Like, oh god.
And it didn't even look that goofy too. Like it made sense. Like in the position, like in the context of the film.
Yeah.
But oh man, this movie, like I think like some people have kind of like described it best. You have some Godzilla movies which are basically just like, you know, movies. They like really go for the aim of scale and monster vibes and just how people deal with disasters. And then you just have other Godzilla movies which are basically just live action cartoons. This one kind of embraced that cartoon aspect, but like an X-Men cartoon. Like that's how you describe it, like an X-Men cartoon. That's what this was like.
Mm-hmm.
A high budget, big budgeted film, and it was a film that was like not afraid to like have fun at all. I gotta give a lot of credit with the it mostly has to do with the Hong Kong battle, but I gotta give a lot of credit with how they shot it and how Kong moves. It really gives off the impression that this is a giant gorilla fighting off against a giant radioactive dinosaur. I just love how Kong like really makes how they really took advantage of him though. He's climbing on buildings. He's often climbing on buildings. He's ducking below it, though. You see him go on 4 a lot. I love how, by the way, there's that small callback to the original Kong movie where he's on top of the tower. Yep. They really took advantage of his ape-like abilities in this film. I'm done. You guys can add something if you have something.
But no, yeah, like that, like they did do their research on like that stuff. Was like those small little references there were really cool.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, like also, and Godzilla was a beast too. Like the way he looks in this movie, like it's like the design's really good.
Oh yeah.
Like wow, like the American one, like the design actually is good because like it took a while. It took him a long time. We've come a long way from 1998.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like there's a shot where it's just like right on his face, and it's just like, man, look, it looks dope.
Yeah, it does look dope.
Oh,
yeah.
The evil grin.
I'm like, where's that figure?
Yeah. Hold on, let's see if I can find the image. Like, yeah, the freaking here.
Mm-hmm. Then they had their scream off.
Oh my god, yes. Okay. So yes. I guess we could get to like Godzilla's portrayal. Oh, one last thing I wanted to add though. I love how like during their fight, Kong is constantly like trying to get a hold of Godzilla's jaw to break it, just like he does with the dinosaurs. But he can never get a grip of him because he's always like breathing his atomic breath during that point. But anyway, in terms of Godzilla's portrayal in this film, I guess I will go into like full on spoiler territory to explain the trailers. But in the context of this, it says that, you know, Godzilla's out hurting people and we don't know why. It turns out this Apex company is creating a new weapon to essentially challenge Godzilla and, well, basically playing the classic cliche of man trying to play God. And so what's occasionally happening is that they're building off a new weapon. Godzilla sensed this and is being intimidated by it, and that's why he's going ham on cities. As for why he meets up with Kong, essentially Kong just ends up getting in the way throughout the film. Mm-hmm. But in terms of like how Godzilla is portrayed for this film, when he's fighting Kong, oh my god, like it's pretty. At first though, you can kind of see Godzilla's taking it really slow, trying to just kind of figure out what Kong's doing. Throughout the film though, he was constantly snapping at him, and oh geez, all those. It was just me, but Godzilla had a lot of alligator-like characteristics throughout this film. Mainly...
Oh yeah, when he's swimming, like that's exactly the way like a gator swims.
Yeah.
Like they really went in on that with this one.
Yeah, like near the end of the ocean battle where he's dragging to drown Kong, very Gatoristic. Later on in the fight, when Godzilla realizes, okay, I've basically had enough with you, and he just goes full crocodile mode. He corners Kong to a building, starts clawing at him, biting in him like nippedly. Like, oh my god, Godzilla's kind of terrifying in this film.
Yeah.
But overall, I was very glad with how he was portrayed in this flick. Oh, jeez, I almost forgot to mention this. Godzilla drilling into the Hollow Earth, which I guess we haven't really talked about the Hollow Earth, but Godzilla firing his atomic breath down to drill a hole into the Hollow Earth probably deserves to be fit within all of his craziest achievements. This is up there with like him firing his atomic breath at the meteor, as well as him dodging a black hole, using his atomic breath to fly, doing the tail slide drop kick, and the frickin' dance. Like, this is some of the most ridiculous stuff he's done, and I'm very glad they're adding this down with all of the ridiculous shit he's done throughout the years.
Like, that's ridiculous, but like it's not as ridiculous as they had like space and all the other ones. Like, there was some kind of believability. Like, yeah, I could see his atomic breath going that far down.
Yeah, like it. Like,
but I'm like, he's studied a lot. I'm surprised he hasn't hit like a mountain and gone like halfway across the Earth. Because if it can go down to like Hollow Earth, it's like, well, how far does that atomic blast really go? Seems like it goes pretty far.
Yeah, just seeing that, like, and again, like how the movie portrays it, like it's ridiculous in concept, but when you see it, it's so well shot that you're just like, oh my lord. It's just an awe moment. So, oh god, Godzilla's portrayal in this was holy shit. He's not. I'll say this right now. He's not the villain of the film, but oh my god, it felt honest after all of these years, like in terms of like of the MonsterVerse portraying a more heroic Godzilla. It was kind of nice to see sort of like a terrifying evil Godzilla again. But anyway, that's all I gotta say for Godzilla at the moment. So, what do you guys have to say? Ernesto, you can go first, I guess.
Okay. So Team Godzilla going in. I was all like, going in. I literally thought King Kong was gonna win because so far he started off as Kong, but since Godzilla's the king of the monsters, I was all like, even though I'm Team Godzilla, I kind of figured that Kong would win, so that way he could become King Kong. I thought, I was like, okay, it's going to end up like that, but it didn't. Like, well, technically kind of, but not really, but because they kind of still call him Kong. But this was definitely like a big heel turn for freaking Godzilla, because I kind of felt like he definitely was the villain, but I was kind of figuring out like maybe there's a reason why he's attacking people and stuff. Mm-hmm. But it's of course Apex developing this weapon to pretty much match Godzilla and everything. Yeah. But it was very weird. Like,
well, also that plot point. Sorry.
Go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, no, I was saying there's that plot point where they're like, there's two alphas, and that Godzilla's not gonna want that. That's why, like, when you took out King Ghidorah and like the other Titans in like the last movie, they all went back to their own places since Godzilla was now the new alpha. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So at least for him going after King Kong, it's like, well, now the other villain is on my radar. I gotta stop because he's gonna be another alpha. But now this Kong guy's here. I gotta take him out too. So I'm the top dog.
Yeah,
that was my interpretation, at least. I think.
But yeah. So it was weird though. There was a scene when he went to Hong Kong. I was all like, okay, maybe he's trying to like avoid hurting people, like innocent people or something. Like maybe he's just attacking. You know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about.
So there's a scene where he like arrives in Hong Kong, and like he tries to get out of the water, but he literally destroys a bridge full of innocent people, nothing related to Apex.
Yep.
He was just there.
Yep, sorry. It's like the King Kong scenario. They're just in the way. Sorry.
It's like, wait, I thought you were trying to avoid hurting people. I was all like, what? like that was one thing I was confused. Like I was like, was it like they're manipulating him, like his mind or something like that, with this weapon or something? Like I don't know. Like I was just like very confused at that at one point and everything. So I was like, wait, so did he actually go evil?
Yeah. Like, it definitely had a presence in the previous films, though, but it's more just a case of, like, these people are in the way. Like, to us, like, to him, humans are essentially just ants, bugs. That's essentially what it was to the equivalent to him.
But it was weird because the previous two movies he was just trying to avoid like not to like everyone to get hurt, even though they're like, yeah, some people are in the way. There's lives lost, and the destructions and during the fights with King Ghidorah and Rodan and the first 2014 Godzilla. I forgot the monster on
The
that one,
Mutos.
but
Yeah, I
yeah,
don't remember.
but yeah, those But yeah, but I was just like very confused when I saw like him destroying that bridge. I'm like, wait, so is he like evil?
Yeah. The vibe I got from it, though, was that he doesn't go out of his way to hurt people, but if he does, he's like, oh well. Again, it's the equivalent of, like, okay, I don't want to step on the bugs. You do. Oh. Oh well. That's the kind of vibe I got from it was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, but one thing about that scene though, because like Godzilla was like in there tearing stuff up. Why were there still people in the buildings? Like he'd been destroying the city for a bit, but there's like they would cut to shots of people still inside like the skyscrapers. Like I'd be running.
Yeah, like
Yeah,
I'd be screaming.
out
I
of
wouldn't
there.
even be there at that point.
I'd be out of there.
yeah.
It's like those idiots in Batman v Superman, where Bruce Wayne has to call him and tell him to leave the office when Superman's on the rampage. They were still working.
Mm-hmm.
It's like I would have left.
I would have left
Yeah,
too.
screw
Yeah.
this, I'm not staying here.
Yeah, so that's my thing. It's like, man, these people are brave because the second I see Godzilla like come out, start breaking stuff, I'm out the skyscraper. I'm gone.
Yeah.
Oh jeez.
He came into the movie strong. I was happy with how this movie started
Yeah.
Yeah.
because they didn't
definitely.
waste any time. Like 5 minutes
Yeah.
in, Godzilla's tearing stuff up. I was like, this is what I've wanted since the beginning. It's taken them so long to get this right.
Yeah.
Yes.
I was like, I'm feeling
Agreed.
good with this movie because it
Mhm.
starts up. It's like, oh, Godzilla's on a wreck. I'm like, yes.
And, oh, I forgot to mention this, but yeah, in the context of like the previous films, some people were kind of surprised with like how Godzilla was like. Some people would kind of describe him as like a little underpowered in the 2014 movie, but but in the context of that film, it's like, okay, it's been a long time, it's been a while. This Godzilla's kind of old. He hasn't been fighting for a while, so he's a little rusty. By the point we get to this film, oh yeah, he's got the pep in his step back. He's got everything. He's back in order.
He still got it. He still got it.
Yep.
He's all prepped up and ready. he's got some work to get done, and he doesn't care who's gonna get hurt.
Yeah.
But man, oh man. Oh, I forgot to mention a couple other scenes. The scene in the trailer where Godzilla pins Kong to the ground, and they both roar in each other's face. Love that scene.
Yeah.
That scene was really good.
Oh, this was the save Martha. Why'd you say that name?
Oh no.
This was the point where like they kissed and made up.
Okay.
I'm sorry to bring up that, but it kind of reminded me of it. Like Kong was begging Godzilla, "You have to save Martha. Save Martha." Godzilla, "Why'd you say that name?"
Yeah, but I think most people kind of got the gist that it was Godzilla essentially trying to intimidate him into submitting, and Kong, despite getting his ass whooped and being literally under Godzilla's body weight, was just no. He just refused. Like he was fighting till the bitter end. Oh my God, John.
Kind of getting back to the point of, were you gonna say?
I forgot to bring up one more big thing, and then we'll get on to like the last major spoiler. But anyway, go ahead. What were you saying?
It's kind of going back to Ernesto's point about like Godzilla tearing things up. There's a line early in the movie I was kind of like baffled by. It's after Godzilla tears up like the Apex building, and the people are like, "Wait, but we thought Godzilla would. We trusted him." It's like, why'd you trust him? Do you forget the 2014 movie? What he did? Like, who are these idiots who trusted Godzilla? Like, he's an ally now. He's good. It's like, no, don't trust him.
Yeah, like I know the whole portrayal is like, oh, he's the savior to Earth, though, but it's like, no, he's the savior that keeps balance and order. It's not like he's not gonna go out of his way and hurt people.
I think the guys at How It Should Have Ended did it better when they did Godzilla 2014, where like that scene and the ending where just Godzilla was making his way to the water after pretty much killing the. What was the name again? I'm sorry.
Oh, the MUTOs. It's an acronym for Mutant Unidentified Terrestrial Organism, aka they have no name.
The MUTOs, yeah. So the MUTOs, when he killed the MUTOs and he came back in water and just everyone out of nowhere started clapping. I could just imagine Superman swooping down. So I snap a guy's neck, and you guys don't clap for me.
It's like, okay, there's a lawsuit. Bias.
I think the guy that How It Should Have Ended did that joke really good. That's all, because it's true. It's like, here's a monster that pretty much destroyed like literally the whole city, but you have here Superman battling against Zod for like saving the world and everything from getting turned into Krypton and everything, and he just branded as a bad guy.
But did he really have to bust through that 7-Eleven? Was that really needed? Did those Slurpees deserve that?
No, it didn't.
Oh, Lord. Oh, my God. Oh, yeah. Anyway, are you done? I wanted to make like my one last point, then we'll get on to the final spoilers.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, we already kind of glossed over with it, but let's talk about the Hollow Earth. I was kind of surprised that they were willing to go this trippy with the Hollow Earth. I'm surprised that they were willing to go like this far with it. The fact that they were introducing anti-gravity matter, there was like an entire new whole world filled with these unbelievable creatures, and oh god, the wide shot lands of like Kong just like running throughout the field. I'm thinking, well, Kong doesn't feel so giant anymore, but damn it, John. But the thing that really got me about the frickin' Hollow Earth wasn't the anti-gravity, it wasn't the widescape, it wasn't the fact that the devices they rode looks like the frickin' Super X from Godzilla 1985, or Return of Godzilla. The thing that got to me is when they made it to the mountain that looked like a castle, had a handprint of a member of Kong's species. You go in there, and there's a throne room with a throne that Kong could sit on. It's like, okay, this movie knows this movie just went full Saturday morning cartoon, and I fucking loved it.
I'm like, who taught him about chairs? My real question is, who built that door?
I honestly, God,
who built
I think it's implied that it was Kong's species. Like, they were, like, getting ahead of things. like Kong's species is this smart? They, like, have gone this far in engineering and crafting? Like, holy shit.
That room looked sick, too. I was like, damn, it's pretty dope. Had the little imprint there, the weapon. He looked like a beast sitting in the chair. I was like, hey, I like this.
Just
their pod. I will say that little ship they were in looked really goofy, but like everything else with like Hollow Earth, like that section of the movie is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And seeing that whole section of the movie though, like it was. I love how this film was willing to embrace the goofy, like not really the goofiness, but the very out there aspects that like King Kong movies and some kaiju films have gone out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was.
This felt like they were trying to go in for like those like the international Godzilla movies.
Yeah.
Because that 2014 was really grounded in reality, and this one finally felt like, all right, all bets are off. We have future vehicles and all this and that.
Yeah, it was them taking advantage of it. Oh, and going back to what I was saying earlier, I know I keep retreading old ground, but it was that aspect where what they essentially do to convince Kong to go into Hollow Earth is there might be more members of your species in there. And like, are you kidding me? Like you're giving them false hope now. It's like
that part was messed up, especially that like his look. Like he looked, I don't know what it was. Like he looked mad. Like the second you're like, it might be family. He started getting like all pumped up and going. It's like he looked like he was more like, yo, I gotta beat someone up. Like
he was like he was like Hawkeye in Endgame. Don't give me hope.
Yeah, like there's family down there. All right, bet they about to get tore up, and he runs in.
He was swinging on rocks too. Like he was ready to go. He was full-fledged.
Yeah.
Oh man, but again, like that scene, like Apollo Earth and him going into the throne room was amazing. Like I love how much like these movies have been like embracing the whole king theme. Like King of the Monsters very much embraced the whole god and king theme for Godzilla. This one embraced that like the kind of almost like a royalty vibe with King Kong. I freaking loved it. I love how they're just having fun with it and playing through with it. Like that was amazing. So, what do you guys have to say about Hollow Earth? And, oh, by the way that Kong and Godzilla meet up by Godzilla just knowing that he's just down there when he activates the axe and all the energy field, that was amazing too.
Yeah.
Anyway, what do you guys have to say about that?
Had that force sense there, like Kylo. Like I can sense you down there.
They're force linked.
You better come up here.
They're linked for the force.
Godzilla have a half shirt on.
We're gonna throw these hands. Come up here.
He's like, all right, fine. You want to fight? Come on, come to me, brah. Oh Lord.
It's like you got Godzilla communicating to King Kong like I see you down there. I can feel you. I'm coming.
Oh Lord. Anyway, yeah.
But no, the Hollow Earth stuff was
Yeah,
cool. I will say though, because in the image I put, it did remind me. I was like, "What's this Pandora looking place?" That's why I was laughing. At first, 'cause I put the image of Pandora from Avatar.
Oh shit! I thought I have one more thing to say. Oh fuck. Okay, this is the last thing I'm saying, and then I'm shutting up. In the novelization, it's flat out explained that it was just literally Godzilla himself. He was the one that essentially fought off most of the members of Kong's species and killed them. He was the one that essentially like took out Kong's species, and that what drove them to Skull Island.
Dang. I gotta read this novels. There's a lot of cool stuff in this novel that wasn't in the movie.
Yeah. Okay, anyway, I'm done. Ernesto, what are your thoughts on the Hollow Earth thing?
I would say it looks really nice. But like what John posted, it reminded me of Pandora. It literally reminded me of Pandora. I'm sorry. But it did look good. Like honestly, Hollow Earth really looks nice. It really does. It's just a lot of questions like, who built the door? How does that monster know what a door looks like? How it functions? You gotta put this thing. You gotta kind of push you're like, who would he know like where to push it at?
Put the axe
like where he had that hand, the handprint in. How would he know? How would he know what a chair was and what it's used for?
He's a part of the advanced Kong civilization. How else have they developed coconut guns?
There's probably a computer back there behind that chair we didn't see. It's in the novel.
It's just Cranky Kong though, like like in his science lab. I'm not letting you have another potion, King Kong.
There's probably a fridge in there too.
Yeah.
I wanted to see the little like rock futon they got in the back.
Like there's definitely some questions in there, but again, it looks good. There's really not much to say. It's your typical Pandora-looking type of, world and stuff.
Yeah.
It looks good.
Yeah, one final thing I'll say about that scene, the way they came in, where it's like that, because they said like they set up like how gravity's different there. Like the way they came in, where it's like they're falling down, then does that switch where then they're going forward, and it works the same way with Kong. Like,
oh yeah.
that's the way. That scene was dope.
Yeah, that scene was really good, and you see the scene with like Kong floating with all the floating rocks and asteroids. Some people said that they kind of wish there was a fight scene there, but I'm thinking like, I kind of like, as funny and memeable as it would have been, I don't think I would want to see revivals of the Godzilla flying meme with him down there.
No. But also, that's been done before. I feel like in a bad movie, they would have done that, where Godzilla would have come down to Kong, and that's where the final fight would have been. It would have been this crazy thing.
Yeah, like that.
It's like that's been done. I like the Hong Kong, like the city settings, especially with the neon lights. It was cooler doing it.
Yeah,
that way.
and it brought back the sense of scale. When you were in Hollow Earth, it was like huge. Like Kong didn't even seem big anymore.
Yeah, like when he enters like that door and into that, you just get to see like, god dang, like that mountain's huge.
Yeah. But anyway, so overall, Hollow Earth was pretty sick. Glad to see it. Oh, by the way, villain daughter lady, she shoots Kong. Kong looks at her, crushes her, boom, dead.
I was so
Yes.
I was like, yay.
Yes.
Like,
He crushed her like crackers.
Yes.
I was like,
He's like,
good. You served nothing
He's
to
like,
this movie.
who the hell are you? You shot at me? Okay, then. Dead. Alright, okay, now we can finally get to the final spoiler point that I know that you guys were probably sick of me constantly cock-blocking.
Actually, this is what Godzilla did to her. Just
Okay.
I do have one other point with Hollow Earth, but I'll save it for like the very end.
Okay. Now we get to the final bit that was sadly spoiled a lot. Thank you, Funko Pop.
And you guys were right, though.
All right, then. MechaGodzilla is in the film, and honestly, he's pretty sick. I love what they did with him. All right, you guys go ahead, because I've been, like, carrying the whole thing. You guys go ahead.
Ernesto, you go.
Not
You start
carrying,
off.
like, going off forward. Anyway, go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah. Ernesto, you started off since you were the one who were like, it got spoiled for you. I'll say what happened to me.
It got spoiled for me, but not by anyone from Twitter, not anyone just from Facebook or anything like that, or just somebody who's seen the movie early or something like that. It was spoiled for me by the people, the Instagram page of the Funko Pops.
Fuck you, Funko Pop.
So Funko Pops likes to pretty much spoil the movie. I remember they spoiled something in Avengers and Infinity War that sadly was cut out of the movie and stuff.
Aww.
They literally they pretty much show like, you know, their stuff where Godzilla vs. Kong. It's like, oh yeah, they look pretty nice. I scrolled and then it was right there. It was how MechaGodzilla was gonna look like. I knew MechaGodzilla was already in the film because they kind of showed him in the trailer.
At the beginning, yeah.
So I think, you know, I kind of figured, but they didn't really show how he looked like, and I want to like keep it a surprise of how he looked like and everything like that. But sadly, even though I know it's like the minier version of the character and everything, but still, you know, you kind of get a hint of how he's gonna look like and everything like that. And I was pretty disappointed and stuff. Like I just want when I told myself when I see the movie, I wouldn't be odd, like, you know, but I saw that and I'm just like, I was just very disappointed. And I watched the film and when they revealed MechaGodzilla and everything, I was so disappointed because I literally wanted to be surprised on how he looked like. Because, oh man, it was so disappointing. After that, I definitely unfollowed Funko Pops.
Yeah, but what do you think of like how MechaGodzilla was done in the film?
He was definitely. I kind of figured like, how are they gonna do it? Because I know in the original, he was designed by aliens. I thought maybe they're gonna bring aliens into the mix, but I thought that was gonna be ridiculous. It made sense how they did it, you know. So the way they did it was they got the skull because you know I wondered because like in the ending of the end credits of King of the Monsters, the guys at Monarch found the not Monarch, the other I
The
forgot the other
terrorist
company.
group, yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah. The terrorist group found, you know, the skull of the head of one of the heads of King Ghidorah and everything. So they pretty much used the skull. You know, they pretty much attached these wires into them and pretty much used like some type the DNA, and everything, and kind of used like telepathy to kind of communicate with Godzilla and everything, and stuff. And they had the it was like some Asian guy. I think they said like he was like the father of Ken Watanabe's
He was
character.
the son of it.
Like
Yeah,
the son.
I'll get to him later. But
Yeah.
go ahead.
And like he pretty much like, you know, pilots, you know, MechaGodzilla and everything. Like he, you know, gets this like visor and everything, and you know, it kind of puts him in a trance and everything. That's how they would like.
And that's the one thing I say. You know what it reminded me of?
What?
Why did it remind me of the full dive from Sword Art Online? about the jack in?
That's kind of what it was, actually.
It was that. Holy shit! I didn't.
That's what I was thinking the whole time I saw that. I was like, "Yo, it's the full dive."
I did not think of that. Holy shit! Now that, oh man, now that's what's gonna remind me. Link.
I've
start.
ruined it.
Oh man. Oh.
But yeah, like essentially they built MechaGodzilla by using a telepathy link with King Ghidorah, one of his skulls, and the son of Serizawa. We'll get to that point because there was a lot of missed potential there. But yes, and the way they portrayed him was Go ahead. I know it was your turn. Go ahead, Ernesto.
Oh man. So they kind of like, so what ended up happening, like, okay, you know, they're pretty much controlling, you know, to destroy Godzilla and everything, but that backfired.
Mm-hmm.
It ended up, what happened again? I totally forgot.
Well, what they did was they said it needed like more testing for it. Like once they got the source from down in Hollow Earth, they could run it 100%, but they said, hey, Ren Serizawa was like, hey, this needs more testing before we go all in. But Al Pacino was like, no, we need to do it now. And that's when it malfunctioned because they didn't do all the testing for it. And that's when it took full control over it.
Yeah, I should probably elaborate on this. King Ghidorah's spirit possesses the machine, takes over, kills Ren Serizawa, and comes to life.
Mm-hmm.
It's weird it's not the brain, though. Why is it the skull? It's like...
It's an alien. It's an alien that can regenerate its heads. There's your reason.
I guess it's just the skull. Just like, yeah, I thought it would be like the brain. Like that would be the source of it, but I guess it's just like the whole full head is, I guess, as well.
Mm-hmm.
But
yeah, it was so yeah, MechaGodzilla was freaking great. He was just like, I wish like there was more of him and stuff, essentially. How he was gonna look, I didn't really like, even before the freaking Funko Pop spoiled it for me. I thought he was gonna look like the original MechaGodzilla look, or he was gonna look like, you know, the Robo version of, you know, the current Godzilla that we have now and stuff. So I was just figuring out how they're going to do it, and when I saw it, I was like, okay, you know, it kind of makes sense, you know. It definitely makes sense, and it fits like the style of the movie. So I was very happy about that. I'm glad they didn't bring the aliens into it.
yeah. I'll say this. Oh, are you done, Ernesto? Sorry, I don't.
Yeah, I'm done. Yeah.
I was honestly very surprised with how they went with Mechagodzilla, because it's kind of interesting, because this is like, again, this is like another time Mechagodzilla is built by humans, but we get an evil Mechagodzilla again. I was actually surprised. I was really surprised we get another evil Mechagodzilla. And the way it kind of portrays, like, how it links to the skull of King Ghidorah, it's kind of funny how it kind of links back to the Heisei era, when they built Mechagodzilla out of remains of Mecha King Ghidorah. It kind of goes back to the Godzilla against Mechagodzilla movie, where the spirit of the original Godzilla comes to life and possesses the machine. Which, oh, by the way, nice little callback to that movie in this film, as you can see in this screenshot. And it was a nice little callback to the, I forgot what the novel was, though, but I think it was Godzilla against the robotic monsters, where the spirit of King Ghidorah takes over Mechagodzilla and causes issues. I was surprised they went with that plotline, and in terms of the context of the film, it makes a lot of sense. It definitely fits with the whole role of, once again, man trying to play God. It definitely makes sense that they would try to use remains of a previous monster to build this one. And when you factor in the whole establishment of this is an anti-Mechagodzilla machine that is possessed by an angry spirit that hates Godzilla, honest to God, it kind of makes a lot of sense that Godzilla got his ass kicked. And by the way, this was right after his fight with Kong. He was already exhausted. Like, Kong was no pushover, but, yeah, Godzilla kind of gets his ass beat in his fight with Mechagodzilla.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he does.
Just the, like, oh my freaking lord. Okay, so just going on with more about Mechagodzilla. I wasn't too huge on the design, but when I saw it more in motion,
Yeah.
and when I saw, like, how, like, they kind of, like, model it, where he has kind of, like, longer human-like arms and almost, like, crane-like claws, I kind of started to love it more. Because this is, like, a full-on, again, like, get ready to laugh at me, I actually thought this version of Mechagodzilla was kind of creepy. Like, this is a full-on Terminator Godzilla. Like, the other ones were just, like, robotic versions. This is a full-on fucking Terminator version. Like, this is disturbing. Like, what the hell, man?
That was my only thing was the design. Like, I do like the overall concept. I thought, like, man, he's a little too skinny. That was my only criticism with it. I just didn't like it. It's like, man, like, the older one, I do like the design. It's really goofy looking, but I just like that he's beefy. So it makes sense, like, when he's going against Godzilla, it's like, oh, he's doing, like, some damage. But, like, seeing the skinnier one, it's like, it gave me more like a Transformer look.
Yeah.
More than anything with it.
It's like Bayformers, but not insulting. But, yeah, just overall his portrayal of which I was kind of surprised, like, they went with a skinnier design, but in a way, it kind of made sense, though, since it was combining both Godzilla's, like, kind of raw, like, power durability with Kong's agility.
I'm just really happy they didn't go with the design from Ready Player One.
Oh, I guess you didn't like that version.
I don't remember this on it. I don't remember that movie.
What, was the movie bad?
Oh, we need another 3-hour discussion for that movie. Oh, yeah. God, I forgot it. Oh, he looks whack in this. I forgot. Hold on. Let me save the image.
Yeah, because I was like, man, they're probably gonna go with the design from Ready Player One, because I was like, they're trying to go for a modern look of Mechagodzilla. I'm like, they're probably gonna go with that. But no, I was like, okay,
stupid.
This version that they went with is way better.
He looks like a Bionicle.
He does look like a Bionicle! Like a dinosaur Bionicle! But anyway, moving on from like that, the design I liked, personally. His power outload, like, some people said they were a little disappointed that he didn't have as many fancy abilities and gadgets. I think he kind of more or less made up with, like, not so much like what he had, but how he used it. In terms of his power outlook, he has his default weapon, his breath cannon, which is dubbed the Proton Scream. Crazy name. He has, let's see, shoulder and back missiles, rocket jets that propel him forward, sort of these weird blue energy blasts whenever he punches and kicks, and the full-on Dragon Zord drill on his tail, which made me laugh considering that Dragon Zord from Power Rangers was inspired by Mechagodzilla, so it's kind of like come full circle by that point. I love how I was kind of surprised for like how much he kicked Godzilla's ass in the fight, but again, when you consider that he was basically designed to kill Godzilla, as well as the fact that it's from an exhausted one, yeah, it kind of made sense. Like, man, Godzilla gets his ass handed to him in this flick. Like, holy shit, he goes in full. He slams him into buildings, drags him across the ground, throws every hidden trick he has. They do a beam clash, which, by the way, glad to see they did a beam clash in this version. Mechagodzilla easily overpowers them at that point. And probably my favorite bit, though, is when he goes for the killing blow. Holy shit, like, this probably was not intentional at all, but I'm surprised they did it. He pulls Godzilla's jaw forward, and it resembles just like how he did in the freaking, like, old film when he was in the fake Godzilla skin and, like, just pulling, like, Anguirus' jaw. Like, are you kidding me? They did not get that reference in there. Like, holy shit.
They probably did. I feel like they went pretty deep with this movie.
Yeah, but...
Especially also considering the director, Adam Wingard, like, in the interview, he watched, like, almost every Godzilla movie that there was just to kind of get a feel for everything when he came to this movie. So a lot of those like small little things there are probably specifically like, hey, I watched this, let's put this in there for like those fans who will pick up on it.
Yeah, there's a lot of everyone's like got like a habit though, or not habit, like a certain urge to want to break Godzilla's jaw. Like first Kong and now Mechagodzilla.
Yeah.
But yeah, like anyway, like regardless if it's a reference or not, because like he actually, like anyone who remembers like the final scene from 2014 and then sees this was like, oh, he's trying to pull his own kiss of death on Godzilla, which I also thought was amazing. And you can like even like see in Godzilla's face, like while this is going on, like he's given up, like he knows he's gonna die. He's like, well, fuck, I'm dead. I can't. I like you won. I don't know what to do. And then of course we get to the okay, I guess we should get to the obligatory scene. I guess we forgot to mention this, but I guess we'll mention it. After Godzilla gets done kicking... Oh, what were we going to say, John?
Oh, I'll just mention my thing with Godzilla real quick.
Sorry.
So yeah, like design, like I just wish it was a bit beefier. And kind of like Ernesto, it was kind of ruined for me too. And I was mad because we were talking the other night about, I was like, you were saying like, yeah, I wish it wasn't ruined. I'm like, I feel like I probably know. And then when the second the movie started and they start showing off Apex, I'm like, dang it. I knew exactly then, like, Apex's new robotic line. I'm like, they were right. But it wasn't even that. YouTube ruined it without, like, YouTube was ruining it too. I wasn't even trying to look up movie stuff. And, like, IGN or whoever it was, they kept putting this as a thumbnail in a video.
Yeah.
And I looked at it once, I was like, wait a second. And I'm like, dang it, nope.
Oh, I wasn't convinced at first because I saw it was kind of dusty when you see it, but you look at it closer and it's like, oh shit, it does look kind of robotic.
And there's another shot in the trailer that someone posted on Twitter and I saw for half a second. And I'm like, they're like, look at this computer monitor. What are they charging up?
Oh.
And I was like, oh, dang it, I know what that is. And then when the movie started and they were talking about the Apex robots, I'm like, I wish it wasn't ruined because it would have been a dope reveal. I didn't see the design until the movie, thankfully, but it would have been dope when they got into that huge thing and it's like, all right, what's the monster? And then Mechagodzilla comes out like, oh, cool, they're going this direction.
Yeah. Admittedly, like, okay, like, no, actually, this isn't really an admittedly thing, but in King of the Monsters, like, in the ending, like, flashback, like, not ending flashback, the ending credit scene, there is, like, a small snippet that says, like, certain companies are now investing in building their own robotic titan. Like, so, like, it was kind of hinted, but it's, like a blinking and miss it kind of moment in King of the Monsters.
Yeah, I must not have missed. I definitely missed that.
But it's like a blinking and miss it kind of thing. You know, like most people didn't notice it, but like, yeah, in terms of like content of like a King, fucking Mechagodzilla's reveal. Oh, I keep saying this, but in terms of how they revealed him by using the freaking adult skull crawler from Kong Skull Island as like a test. Just to see Mechagodzilla's abilities. Like they're pulling the Cole classic. Want to know how we make this villain intimidating? Kill off a previous one.
In 5 seconds.
Yeah.
But anyway, so back to the reveal though. So right after Godzilla gets done kicking Kong's ass, before he inevitably gets his ass kicked, we see Kong get his shoulder dislocated. His heart is slowly beating down. He's about to die. They take the machine, and that hilarious scene where the guy does like the "you are very coward" like sign language thing. Like that was pretty funny. They essentially like use the machine as a defibrillator to basically revive Kong, which, intentional or not, I also thought was kind of a cool way of like referencing Kong's affinity with electricity, because, spoiler warning, he does not get electrical powers in this movie, but I still thought that was kind of cool that they referenced that. They essentially bring Kong back to life, and the little girl, as fucking cheesy as it is, I was just in the moment. She goes up to him, tells Kong, Godzilla is not enemy, that is enemy. And of course Kong's like, no, fuck off. Like he kicked my ass. And then she's like, please, for me, can you save him? Be careful. And Kong's like, okay, fine, I'll do it. And he goes up to the building, like hits it against like a building to like freaking pop his shoulder back in. Like another reason why Kong is badass in this.
That one was dope.
Yeah, that was dope.
That was super sick. Like Kong is like amazing in this film. Oh my god, they did him right. But just seeing that scene where she's like crying and doing in sign language, like please be careful. I'm not gonna lie, I teared up a little. Like, oh my god, why is this movie making me tear up? It's a dumb popcorn flick.
Hey, that was one thing Adam Wingard said. He's like, my goal is that the human characters are there, but that you start getting emotions, like almost tearing up at the end to the monsters. I guess it got its desired effect then.
But yeah, just that final scene, like just doing it, like it was coming, but it was well done. Fuck, there was another thing I wanted to say and I forgot what it was. But anyway, when we get to the obligatory moment where they team up, the way they reveal it is amazing. I love how they quickly how it's very quickly established, like when they do team up and fight against Mechagodzilla, Mechagodzilla does not turn his attention away from Godzilla. He focuses, throughout the fight, he's still beating Godzilla's ass. And the entire time he's just swatting Kong off. I was kind of surprised at that dynamic. As well as, like, even when they do team up, like, they don't overpower him. Mechagodzilla is still holding his own against both of them. Which was what I was kind of surprised with. What did you guys think about that moment?
I was really cool. There's a moment later, like the end of that fight.
Go ahead. Just say
it.
Just say it.
Just say, boy, the way he took him out was so nasty. When they had their Wind Waker moment, where Godzilla's reflecting, and Kong takes it. It's very rare when I get hyped watching a movie at home. I was clapping like an idiot in my couch. I was like, yo, this is raw. I'm happy I didn't see it in theaters. I would have been acting a fool up in there. I was like, yo, this the rawest combo. When they started teaming up, like that whole scene was great. The whole last half of the movie was well worth seeing. Like everything.
Yeah. What do you think of it, Ernesto?
Oh, I thought it was remarkable. I agree. Like, you guys pretty much took the words out of my mouth. It was... I was in the movie theater. I tried to hold it in. I'm like, oh my god. I was trying to make sure I wasn't jumping out of my seat, clapping and stuff. But man, that was definitely freaking crazy.
Yeah. Like, I'm always a sucker when it comes to camaraderie in, like, any piece of media, but just seeing that, like, bit of, like, moment, it's like, okay, hell yeah. It was essentially, yeah, like, you said it, John, it was a full-on Wind Waker moment, and it once again continues the MonsterVerse trend of ending off in a fatality. And I just love how he just chops him up and then just rips the head off right there. Like, oh my god, like, I'm so glad they're continuing this trend.
Oh, win. Fatality.
Jeez, and like even then, like it was like you want to talk about like this movie wasn't like super gory when it came to like the monster battles. Not when it comes to robots. Mechagodzilla, like there was oil,
yeah,
fucking like metal, like explosions everywhere. Like if you're a robot, do not see this movie. You might be disturbed. But man, oh man, I was. just that ending finale was amazing, and I guess you already like kind of mentioned Ernesto, so I guess we'll just go ahead and bring it up. The final scene where they both like oh shit, that's what this reminded me of. This reminded me of the end of Jurassic World though, where they have the team up scene and then they have the both moment where they sort of like kind of acknowledge we're like, you know what? Yeah, we're natural enemies, but we had each other's back, so you know what? Fine. I'll let you off on this one moment. That's the kind of vibe I got off from it. That's the sort of the vibe. At the end where Kong just tosses the axe below, they're like, okay, yeah, one time, but that's it.
Yeah. We already know, you know, the second Kong picks that axe back up, Godzilla's probably coming right back. It's like, boy, what I tell you?
Yep. And at that point, it was anyone's game, but they're like, you know what? Yeah, we kind of just got done killing a robot that looked like you. Let's call it a day. So, overall, I would definitely, in my opinion, that was definitely my favorite scene of the movie. Even though I do think the Hong Kong fight is the highlight of the movie and probably the best part, like, on a technical standpoint, the Mechagodzilla scene was definitely my personal favorite. So, do you guys have any more thoughts on that scene? Because there's a few other things I want to bring up before, you know, I'm ready to end off.
No, I think I said everything I need to say.
Okay,
for me.
because I want to be sure like we get all of our thoughts in here, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so going back to the human storyline, and again, going back to the spoilers of the human storyline, I was kind of surprised. I already mentioned before a few times that the movie did make me laugh. I was kind of surprised, like how the human scenes made me laugh. So, going back to Team A with Bernie, the conspiracy theorist. I kind of laughed when they jumped in the pod that had all the unborn skull crawlers and they end up getting shipped like, oh shit, no wait, it's closing. Oh wait, what the fuck's going on? No, it's closing. No shit, no, don't ship us off with these things. No, and it speeds like, and it starts speeding up and they start freaking out. And then like 30 minutes later, it just cuts back to them. They've been in there for like hours and they're just like casually like scrolling through like their phone, their phone.
Yeah, Bernie's sleeping. He's taking a nap. They gotta wake him up like, oh, it's slowing down.
Like, oh, wait, we're there? Oh, thank God. I never thought it was going to end. You know what? It was like Plucky Duck, like when they made it to Happy World Land. In April 6, 2021. That's what it was.
It was like that scene in Spy Kids 2 where they're falling down the volcano and they're all scared. Because they're flying forever, and at a certain point, they just start sleeping and nodding off.
How long have we been falling? I don't know. The watch doesn't tell time. God. Okay, like, that scene was great. Okay, I guess we're gonna go back to the Ren Serizawa thing with the Asian kid in the skull. Okay. As far as I'm aware, the novelization goes into a bit more detail about this. But they did him dirty in this movie. So, for a bit of context, Serizawa, who was Ken Watanabe's character from 2014 in King of Monsters, he was widely regarded as like one of the more interesting characters, at least in terms of the human plotline, and he dies in King of the Monsters. Spoiler warning. So to see them bring his son into this film was like, okay, what are they going to have him do? They kind of pull like a Gamera 3 Revenge of Iris situation where he hates monsters. He hates Godzilla. And I was kind of surprised like where they were going to see him go with this. No. They did nothing with it. He's controlling Mechagodzilla in King Ghidorah's skull. They don't really explore that aspect at all. When he brings up the whole wait, we haven't tested this whole thing, we should do a thing. Nope, don't really bring anything. They don't bring into any aspect of that. They don't explore his hatred for Godzilla. They don't explore like how it is to control Mechagodzilla, or how if he's feeling like the King Ghidorah link in there, or if like his hatred for Godzilla is also going inside Mechagodzilla. They don't explore any of that. Like once they get the power source and King Ghidorah takes control, it short circuits. Ren Serizawa is dead. For all we know, like, he's just dead. Like, maybe, like, his, like, conscious was also in Mechagodzilla, but they don't explore that at all. And that's kind of it. Just it. That just, they did him dirty. Wasted potential right here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's kind of a shame though, because it like to give you some context on the Gamera 3 thing, it seems like they were going with the Gamera 3 Revenge of Iris plotline, where you have a human who like really hates the main monster, who really hates monsters, and they end up combining their conscience with another monster. And the context of Gamera 3 was this girl who believes Gamera killed her parents, and so she ends up linking with a monster named Iris, and ends up having her hatred of Gamera pursue throughout that monster. You kind of see like you have a struggle between not only the monster side of the story but the human side. They completely dropped the ball on that plot line, and yeah, what you know about that, that is kind of disappointing, at least in my opinion.
Mm.
So that's all I really had to say about that. So not sure if you guys have anything to add on that.
I was actually pretty disappointed by his character, because I thought, it was like a revenge thing, because it's like in King of the Monsters, Ken Watanabe's character goes pretty much where Godzilla was resting after what we thought got killed by King Ghidorah and stuff. He was just kind of resting there, but what Ken Watanabe's character ended up doing was he brought pretty much an atomic bomb to kind of like, bring him back to life and everything, to like stop King Ghidorah and
Yeah, like
Rodan, and just pretty much,
oh, sorry, go ahead.
like all the monsters that, are pretty much wreaking havoc in Earth and stuff like that. So I thought, I didn't know this character was the son of him, until like I pretty much was reading on Twitter and everything about the character and stuff. So I was like, oh, he's like, I did not know that, because honestly, it's like, again, it's like I don't really care about the human character.
I honestly legit just found this information out once you guys brought it up. I'm like, oh snap, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh nice.
Yeah, because it's like I go in for just the monsters. Like I don't really care about the freaking the characters, but they don't really explain to him that he's the son. They don't.
Yeah, and again, it's a major aspect. He's a son of like an important character from the previous movies, and again, his plot is he hates monsters and he wants to kill them with essentially his own monster.
Yeah, like they didn't explain that who he was. I don't even think they mentioned his name once, or maybe they did.
They did.
They did. Okay, so probably I wasn't really paying
Same
attention,
here.
but yeah, it's like, okay, he's gonna like a revenge, and then like I think like he'll like discuss, like he'll like soon learn his mistake and everything like that, and we'll try to like help out to freaking like stop Mechagodzilla and stuff.
Nope.
But they just kill him off just like it was nothing. I was like pretty disappointed.
See, had they did it where they didn't have Al Pacino looking dude as the villain, and they had Ren Serizawa as the main one, it would have worked better. We would have had the whole movie to set him up, and you could have had that kind of building of, hey, these are my motives, like why I want to do this, and it makes more sense than having him kind of be the side character. It's like he's the much more interesting character here, and you put him in the side, in the back.
You sidelight him.
That's kind of weird. Now hearing that, it changes the whole thing now, honestly, with that character.
And again, though, like going back to Gamera 3, like the Gamera 3, like the Heisei like 90 era Gamera films, those are considered to be some of the best kaiju movies out there. And it would have been really nice to see that this film kind of acknowledged like that era of filmmaking by kind of bringing in that plot line. But again, like the novelization explores a bit more into it, though, but the movie just doesn't do anything with it. And it's one of the few times I will kind of count this against the movie in terms of having weak characters moments, though, because it would have, like, added a bit more, like, not just to the human side, but even to the monster side as well. But anyway, like, that's all I gotta say.
One thing I will say, the way, that kind of helped, defeat Mechagodzilla was the Godzilla side characters. The
yeah,
human.
I forgot about that. You go ahead. You go ahead and tell it.
So what ended up so well, Mechagodzilla's whipping on Godzilla's ass, and King Kong getting his axe and everything like that. The Deadpool 2 kid is pretty much trying to figure out like a password, to kind of like shut down Mechagodzilla and everything. They're just figuring out, so him and Bernie just kind of figure out these different like passwords and everything like that. Like they could have probably looked up like, I don't know, notes or something like that, you know, like a little like handbook or something. But they just kind of just randomly like freaking pressed on the password and everything. And then I should say this, Bernie's I guess wife passed away. So, you know, he's just been, you know, suffering from depression. He kind of has like this, I think it's whiskey that, and like he has like a flask of like alcohol with him that he pretty much drinks while looking at a photo of his wife and everything like that.
Yeah.
And stuff. So while they were trying to figure out the passwords, they get they get locked in and stuff like, so, you know, they can't try any more passwords. So the Deadpool 2 kid pretty much was like, you know what? I got an idea. He gets the flask out of Bernie, freaking opens it up, and just pretty much pours it on the keyboard, and that pretty much.
Okay.
I have so many questions after that.
I don't care what anyone says. That was amazing. That was the best way they could have did. It's like, I can't turn off this computer. How can I shut it off? Oh, I know. Spill a drink. The best way to destroy any computer. And that was whiskey. Like that stuff like really sticks to shit. Like that would have ruined it the PC. So that was amazing. I don't care what anyone says. That was fucking amazing.
My question is, okay, they have this giant mechanized robotic creature, but you didn't have the thought or the tenacity to put a cover over it. Why would you leave exposed electronics like that? It's like you spent all this millions of tech, and you don't put like a cover over it.
I guess it was implied that they were still in like the beta phase because the robot wasn't finished since they kept having power issues with it. So maybe that's why.
It's like, why did they treat that computer like an Xbox Series X with all the holes there? Like, don't cover it up.
But yeah,
it's like, boy, hopefully no intern is like, all right, I'm gonna put my Sprite here. Uh-oh.
And, like even then, like when he pours it, it doesn't shut him off. It only like temporarily short circuits the robot for like maybe 3 seconds, and then he comes back online.
But it's just funny. It's like, man, they really didn't cover that up.
But like even then, like
it's like for $1 billion company, you would think, you know, you would kind of do something with it. Like, what if a guy like, I don't know, like a person like a scientist, you know, behind that, you know, computer, like he's drinking his coffee, he accidentally spills it. Like, oops,
oops.
Well, we're making this joke, but this actually does happen a lot in real life, where like there's a lot of expensive tech, and it's like run on really bad hardware, or it's kept in terrible places.
Oops.
Like the Indiana Jones ride at Disneyland, maybe they've updated it now since the park's been closed for a year, but like apparently it still is run and operating on Windows 98.
Yeah.
Ouch.
They've not updated it at
it's
all.
just like Nintendo's online service.
Yep, same thing. Their online infrastructure is running off of a program for Windows 98, and it finally is getting updated with Monster Hunter Rise. It took them this long. So, you know, maybe it isn't crazy that they didn't put a cover on that computer. Maybe they're keeping it realistic.
But yeah, and again, it was the Deadpool 2 kid. It was the kid who they said, "Shut up, Meg." It's like he was the one that saved the day.
The hero of the movie.
The hero of the movie. That's why
him and Gia are the real heroes.
Like freaking Kong and Godzilla would have been dead if he didn't do anything.
Like, he was the true hero. He should have received some credit.
Yeah.
Like, oh shit, let me grab this guy, this freaking flask of alcohol, and just pour it in the keyboard. Maybe that'll help. And
like
it
did.
Thus Kong performing that fatality on Godzilla.
Shut up, Kyle. Like, no, like you shut up, Kyle Chandler.
You doing this movie?
You didn't do anything.
He's the same idiot who said in the beginning that, wait, I thought Godzilla was a good guy. It's like you have no reason to talk.
Right after he just got done in the last film being so like convinced Godzilla was evil. I don't know.
To now being like, wait, why is he doing it? He's a good guy. It's like, shut up. Why don't you shut up?
I'm trying to.
What have you done in this movie?
Attacking these for real. Even though like you're kind of like a big part in the King of the Monsters, man, he was just reduced to just a side character with little screen time.
He was the Bryan Cranston of this movie.
Oh yeah, that definitely. Oh man, I was disappointed by that one.
Yeah. Oh my god! But yeah, the best scene in the movie. I guess the only other thing I really have to say though was that I kind of forgot. I keep saying that throughout this freaking review. I loved how like relaxed they portrayed Kong in this film. Like at the beginning where he's just getting up at the morning on the ship when they're feeding him the tuna, and he's like got that big like shit-eating grin on his face. Like I love that scene, and I love.
I can't wait for someone to re-edit that with like some like music, like put like "Lovely Day" by Bill Withers to it. It'll fit perfectly.
And I love at the end where instead of like it being Kong like containment area, at the end in the Hollow Earth it's Kong observement area, and they're like, okay guys, get out of the way, he's getting ready for his morning walk. Like I love how casual they just made it. Like Kong really was the main character of this film. Like they even I forgot to mention, they even open up the film on him too.
First frame.
First character we see is him. It's like, damn.
It's like if they did their credits with order of appearance, Kong would be the first one.
And last. I think he's the last shot of the movie.
Yeah, he is too.
Yeah.
And also, how freaking rare is it for Kong to get a happy ending? Like, he's got a happy ending in like a few other films, but like most of the major like Kong remakes or like the Kong Skull Island one, he's had it hard. He's had a really shitty life, and like this one, he finally gets a happy ending. Oh my god! Finally, give the guy a break for once.
For real.
Oh well.
Man's been through enough.
Yeah.
So one real quick thing I need to say before it ends, I have to bring this up. This is related to the movie, but it's just something that I have no word for this next one. We've talked about this before. I don't know if you've heard this. So, man, I'm so disappointed in this person. So the other day, James Rolfe uploaded, the day the movie came out, he uploaded his review of Godzilla vs. King Kong. And I haven't seen like the full thing yet. I saw the point in question of what I'm talking about. And he was just talking about how, like, oh yeah, I actually would have had a cameo in this movie, and I turned it down. James Rolfe turned down a cameo in Godzilla vs. Kong. Because the director, Adam Wingert, is a big fan of Angry Video Game Nerd, and he's been wanting him to be in one of his movies for a long time. When VHS 2 came out, he wanted him to act in like his short in the movie. But because of something in James Rolfe's life, he had to turn it down. And this time he turned down a cameo role. And it's so baffling because Godzilla is one of James Rolfe's favorite films of all time. Like he loves the Godzilla films and just the kaiju films. He reviewed every single one of them. He's like, this movie is so important to me as a movie fan, as a filmmaker. He put like a Godzilla type fight in his own movie.
Yeah.
And the fact he was like, I turned it down. I couldn't believe it. I was so like shocked.
This is the first I'm hearing about this.
I didn't bring it up because I wanted to save it for the review.
Yeah. And to be fair, he said he did this because like his second daughter was being born around the time. I'm thinking, then just like get freaking reschedule it then, dude. Like get it rescheduled.
But my thing is like, okay, if it is how close it is, a film like a day on film, like especially if it's a cameo, it's probably a 12-hour shoot, realistically.
Mm-hmm.
That's one 12-hour day and you're done.
Yeah.
You couldn't spend one day out. And I think I figured out what role it would have been.
What?
Right in the beginning of the movie.
Oh.
When I saw that guy and how he's only that's the only time he's in the movie. I'm like, and he's wearing glasses too. I'm like, I bet that was James Rolfe's cameo. He would have been in the beginning of the movie. Do you know how raw that would have been? Not knowing it. The movie starts, James Rolfe it's like, boy, that's like a weird dream come true. It's like you watch the movies growing up as a kid and you're now in one. You're cemented in a Godzilla movie. And it's like, oh.
But sorry, guys. Just I kind of want to just see this movie blind, and not in the mood. Hey, Ernesto.
I refuse.
Ernesto.
No, he said like his Ghostbusters review.
Hey, Ernesto. They're offering you a role in the new Mortal Kombat movie. Do you want a role in it?
Nah, I'm more of a dead or alive person.
Yeah, volleyball.
You
Extreme.
would know right then and there who is this guy and what you do with Ernesto.
Hey guys.
Because how much I love Mortal Kombat.
Hey, Peter. Okay. Hey, Peter. You're gonna get that joke out of there. We're offering you a role in, say, I don't know, Off the Motion Picture. Would you like to be a cameo in it? I think I'm just gonna stay home and drink, maybe go online, talk about politics. Also go on about how just amazing the modern Paper Mario games are. Oh, and all those comic reviews they made.
Who are you?
They're awful. I don't even care that the guy who fucking made them saw my videos. Nah, fuck that. I'm too good for that.
That would be like if I got a call from Nintendo and they're like, "A GamingWithClass, we want you to come down to Nintendo headquarters. We want you to play the first complete build of Link to the Past remake. We don't have the soundtrack finished, but we're gonna have Koji Kondo in the room, live orchestrating the music
With a
for
translator.
you." With a translator. Oh yeah, and Shigeru Miyamoto and Eiji Aonuma will be there playing with you. You can ask him any question. Nah, I gotta go to work. I gotta get my clothes.
I gotta make a new episode of the Impractical Gamer. This time I'm doing it on oh shoot, what game are we gonna be doing it? Oh, this time we're gonna be doing it on Nuts and Bolts.
That's how it seems with the James Rolfe thing. It's just like this once in a lifetime opportunity because this is never gonna happen again. That's the saddest part. Because each of these movies, they have a new director for them. So it's not gonna be Adam Wingard next time. So it's like you're not gonna have that opportunity ever again. Like, oh, that would hurt.
That one definitely. This is the first time I'm hearing this. Man, that would have been.
You know how much?
You know what? You only get one shot. Do not miss your chance to blow. This opportunity comes once in a lifetime.
You know how much this hurt? You know how much it hurt? It hurt as much while Godzilla was doing his Heisei era beam spamming. When he was breathing, he scraped the back of Kong with it, and I swear to God, that scene, I winced when I saw that. That my back immediately hurt when I saw that.
He was definitely trying so hard to get that atomic breath out. I was all like, man,
yeah.
Because I used to have asthma and everything. I was like, man, this just brings me back.
And then you just see it hit Kong, and all he did was just scrape his back, and that looked like it hurt like hell. Ow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
God. If that thing got a direct hit on Kong, he would be dead. No questions asked.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He would have been a dead monkey. Oh.
Next time I see James Rolfe with a Kong. Why didn't you do it? I'm gonna run into the panel like this. Well, that's all I had to say. I had to mention that.
Anyway, do you guys have anything else you want to say about the movie? Because I've gotten all my thoughts out.
No, it was a really enjoyable movie. I liked it. I know you finished it.
It was definitely a great movie, and honestly, this is literally the first movie in a year and a half where a year and a half where I go literally movie theaters open back up to the public and everything, and it was definitely a great first in a long time movie to go in a movie theater and everything. I definitely recommend. I know of everything going on with still COVID and everything like that, but it's still definitely one of those movies that it definitely needs to be seen in a movie theater rather than just at home and everything.
Oh yeah, man, I'm going to see it again.
Yeah, those sound effects and everything, it's just everything sounds. It's amazing, and it definitely needs to be heard in a Dolby Cinema. any Dolby Cinema, it needs to be seen that way.
Yes, I massive agreed. Like, you guys still got time, and it's like, and it's available in your area. Like, granted, the conditions are fine. Like, I'd say go see it if you have the money, see it in IMAX. It's one heck of an experience. Like, I guess, like, on a movie Bob technical standpoint, it's not really that good. But like, if you just want a film, if you just want a movie just to turn your brain off, eat some popcorn, and have a good time, go for it. It's a blast.
Yes.
Yes.
So yeah, I guess like on a quote unquote technical standpoint, or on that movie Bob thing, whatever. I guess I would say that like Kong Skull Island is technically the best out of all these movies. But in terms of like what we've seen so far, like this along with King of the Monsters was definitely some of the most entertaining ones. And Kong Skull Island is a great movie. Like, I love that film, but this and King of the Monsters were like a blast. I'm so glad I saw them in theaters. So that's all I really got to say. Hopefully the MonsterVerse continues, considering that that King of the Monsters didn't do super well in the box office, they're kind of worried that they might not continue this series. But this movie is getting some good numbers, and a lot of people have been vocal on Twitter about wanting to see the series continue. So
yeah, it made 300 million so far.
Hopefully,
it's made a good amount.
We can see a follow up though, because by the way, there's no after credit scene.
They set it up.
After credit scene.
Yeah.
Well. Oh yeah, that's why I was very confused. I was like, wow, they didn't have a post credit scene.
Because the Hollow Earth stuff, now that it's open, like they set it up for like the next one being some
like you
in
can
there.
Set it up for like a Megalon plot line, a Baragon, Varen, freaking heck, what else is there? Like a Gigan plot line. Holy shit, a war of the Gargantuars.
And then in 30 years, we'll finally get Destroy All Monsters.
A Biolante, Destroya. Oh my god, Destroya. Oh shoot. Like, there's so much more you could do with this universe. Maybe go a step further and, put Gamera in there and do the monster human-hating plotline better.
There's a lot of potential with this, so hopefully they do make another one.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
I think the thing is they release...
And if they don't, it's like, we'll just do it like we do it, like how everyone's doing with the Snyderverse. Restore the monster.
Yeah, but even worst case scenario, the series does not continue. I would say it was a good run. I would say I enjoyed it.
Yeah, this was the finale. Like, it does end on like a good. Godzilla goes back to rest. King Kong is living his happy life.
Yeah, but it looks like the chance of this continuing are looking good. So hey, here's hoping the best for the future.
Yeah.
So that's all I have to say. Do you guys have anything else you want to add?
No, I pretty much said what I had to say.
All right. How about you, John?
I think I said pretty much everything. Like, really enjoyable movie. Yeah, Kong Skull Island is still probably my favorite of them, but I'd probably put this one second. It was a really fun watch. Like, I'm excited to see it now again in theaters. Like, I don't know when, but I'm gonna go again. Maybe this week. I don't know. Maybe next week. But yes, go see it if you can. And if you can't see it at theaters, you know what? It's on HBO Max. You can watch it at home, and it's there.
It's there.
It's only until April 31st, though.
Still a good amount of time though, because you can just be cheap, get a free trial for 7 days. You can do that, get a free trial and watch it for free. Cancel.
April 30th. There's no April 31st. April 30th until April 30th.
Oh yeah, you're right. Shoot. I just been looking at a recording time. It's been almost 2 hours. Literally the length of the movie.
It's longer than the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. We had a lot to say.
Well,
I mean, you could break it up. You could definitely break it up from the non-spoiler to the spoiler.
Yeah, I think I'm just gonna end up doing that though, because the spoiler section, granted, is a lot longer than this, but my God, this was fun to do.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry. I feel kind of like I'm gonna be honest. I feel I kind of dominated a lot of the conversation, but I've been watching.
No.
Well, you're the Godzilla expert here, so it's like it makes sense.
Yeah.
Because you know some stuff that we don't know, so like you having the bigger point in the conversation, it makes more sense. Like I'm not gonna come up here like I think this was here because that's like I'm not gonna know.
Thank you very much.
Well, it was like if we're it's like if we were having a conversation about Castlevania. We know who's gonna dominate.
Oh yeah, like
yeah.
God.
Or me for Zelda, like I can go on for hours.
Yeah.
So, like it makes sense.
Yeah.
I really need...
Say you don't have to worry about that.
We'll always have those moments where like there's a topic, one person's gonna dominate.
Yeah.
It.
I really need to get back into Castlevania, but that's a point for another time. Overall, fun time. Dang, it was a lot of fun doing another one of these discussions podcasts. We should do these again more often, like when we get the chance at least.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's all I gotta say. Overall, fun movie. I noticed the ending to the movie though kind of ends like pretty quickly, but I guess like even the movie itself was starting to run out of steam though, considering they threw everything they had.
Yeah.
But
I really am waiting for a director's cut though. But we'll talk about this later.
Yeah. But anyway, that's all I gotta say. I'm Mr. Game Guy, along with my fabulous hosts. I guess you can go ahead, Ernesto.
MrESPNozaX.
GamingWithClass or Gorilla with class today.
And we'll see you guys.
And tune in next time for our next discussion, whether Persona 5 Royal is canon or not.
Spoilers, it's not.
Later, guys.
Later.
The next video will be the Rats of the Wall one, I swear.